Recently, I became the father of two sons for the first time. I had these children at a very old age, but nevertheless, I was very much concerned about having a girl because I really want the best for my children. Not so much that they make a lot of money. I think they'll be okay financially based on what I can provide them in the future, but I really want them to have a happy and fulfilled life, and that's my only concern, truly my only concern. And I was worried about having a girl because today, a woman in today's society is in a very unusual situation. When I was in law school, which was about 50 years ago, there was only three women in my class. And I recall a professor even suggesting that these women were there looking for a husband and that they were taking up space that a man could use and could go out and make a living and support a family. And that's pretty much how it was 50 to 75 years ago. And if you asked your parent how many children their great-grandparent had, you might be surprised to know that they had probably no less than 6 and could have had as many as 15. And that sounds absurd now, but that was normal only 50 to 75 years ago. I personally observed a tremendous amount of change that's taken place with women in society, not so much with men. Our roles have not changed very substantially, but women's roles have changed radically. Many women now are in professions. The law schools, when I was in law school, as I said, there was maybe 3 women in my class. Now, and the class was 200 to 300 people. Now there are more women in law school than men. And as I was saying before, about 50 to 75 years ago, there was almost like a brick wall. People just pretty much stopped or not stopped reproducing, but limited their reproduction to probably 2 children. 3 right now is very unusual. And this ties into all the other things that I'm talking about as far as breastfeeding goes and ovarian cancer and all the other things. If you had 15 kids or 10 kids, the likelihood of you getting breast cancer and ovarian cancer if you breastfed, the studies indicate there would be almost non-existent. The fact is that evolution is so far behind where we are socially with women that it's causing all kinds of problems with physical and mental issues with women. I really wouldn't know what to tell my girl when she's, if I had one, the best way to make her life as fulfilled and happy as possible. My suspicion is that if she had a whole lot of children, that her life would, in all probability, be much more fulfilling than having 1 or 2 and going to school and becoming a professional. And as I said before, when you consider how long it took for us to get to the point where women were having children, and the evolutionary process involves millions and millions of years, and then 50 to 75 years ago you hit a brick wall, everything changes completely, and women's roles are completely different than they were for gazillions of years. This is absolutely going to cause repercussions. And as I said, I would want my daughter to be as happy as possible. And to do that, I think she would have to conform to nature and evolution. Nature is not fair. Fair does not come into the radar screen of nature. It's not fair that women have to go through menstrual cycles, that women have to suffer through 9 months of pregnancy. That's not fair, but that's how nature works. And I don't think that we can just, as a society, say, all right, well, it's not fair, it doesn't work that way, women should be like men, they should live like men, and as a result, we contradict what took millions of years to get to. And as a consequence, I'm afraid that that women are not as happy as they would be if they were to conform to what nature took millions of years to get to. And when I want to tie that into the fact that the consequences not only affect a woman mentally, but they affect her physically. And that's what I'm talking about regarding the breastfeeding and the cancer and all the other things that are associated with the problems when women do not conform to what nature has evolved to.